And there they are. Two little words. Modifications required. But oh my gosh, those two words kick off this whole cascade of frustration, delays, and a cycle of back-and-forth revisions that, honestly, is often completely avoidable.
We are talking, of course, about that dreaded email from the Institutional Review Board. You know, the IRB. If you're in the research world, you know this feeling deep in your bones. It feels like the start of a very long and winding road.
I mean, look at this cycle. You've poured weeks, maybe months, into designing your study. You hit that submit button feeling pretty confident. Then you wait, and you wait some more. Finally, the email lands, and boom, you're pretty much back to square one, staring down another revision cycle, another few weeks of delay. And what's crazy is most submissions go through this 2 or 3 times.
And this whole process, it has real-world costs. It's not just about losing time. For clinical trials, a single week of delay can cost tens of thousands of dollars in lost enrollment. If you're a grad student, this can throw your entire timeline off track. So this isn't just some minor annoyance. It is a massive drag on actual progress.
So you have to ask, what is causing all these delays? I mean, is it because researchers are out there proposing all these wildly unethical studies? Well, the answer is almost always a resounding no.
The real issues are usually way more, well, mundane. It's things like missing elements in a consent form, tiny inconsistencies between 2 different documents, or, using some language in a recruitment flyer that could be seen as coercive, even though you had no idea. These aren't ethical failings. They're simple compliance gaps.
And this right here, this is the dirty secret of the whole process. The problem isn't some complex ethical debate. It's about trying to navigate hundreds of pages of dense federal regulations. 45 CFR 46, 21 CFR 50, that no single human being has time to memorize. The vast majority of these little mistakes could have been caught way before anyone ever hit submit. So what if you could pre-check your work against those exact regulations before you submit? This is where the story really takes a turn. This simple question is really the whole idea behind a totally new approach. I mean, imagine it. What if before the IRB ever even laid eyes on your documents, you could run them through a system that was built specifically to spot these exact compliance issues? And that brings us to Sunethics.ai. Now, this isn't just another workflow tool. It's a regulatory intelligence engine. The whole idea is that it actively reads your protocol, your consent forms, your recruitment flyers, all of it, and checks them against the full library of regulations, all in real time.
Okay, it's one thing to say it works, but how does it actually function? Let's break down what that process looks like.
Honestly, the process couldn't be simpler. You just upload your documents, PDFs, Word docs, you name it. Then you select the rule set you want to check against, which can include all the federal standards plus your own institution's specific policies. And then you just hit scan, and you can literally watch the findings pop up.
And this slide just perfectly sums up the before and after. On the left, you've got that classic, vague IRB feedback that leaves you totally guessing. Please revise your consent form. Okay, thanks. But on the right, you get a hyper-specific finding. It tells you exactly what's wrong, exactly where it is, and exactly which regulation it violates. It's the difference between guessing and knowing.
And the depth here is really the key. We're not talking about a simple keyword search. This is a deep analysis across a massive, curated knowledge base of regulations and best practices. It's designed to be a truly comprehensive review. So who does this actually help in the end? Well, the answer is pretty much everyone who's even remotely involved in the research compliance process. So researchers, obviously, they save weeks of their lives and get to submit with real confidence. But the IRB admins, they benefit hugely too, because now their limited time can be spent on the tricky, nuanced ethical questions, not just catching basic typos. And for sponsors, this means shorter timelines and getting critical trials up and running way faster. It's a win-win-win. And this really changes the whole emotional side of things too. For a new researcher, it's basically like having an expert regulatory mentor on call 24/7. For a seasoned pro, it's like having that super meticulous co-PI who catches the tiny detail you missed at 2 in the morning. The anxiety just gets replaced with certainty.
So, what this all boils down to is a fundamental shift. We're moving from a process that's reactive to one that is finally proactive.
It's really about breaking that old, exhausting, inefficient cycle. You know the one: submit, wait, cross your fingers and hope you got it right, and then revise when you inevitably find out you didn't. That whole thing can just stop.
And let's be super clear about this. A tool like this doesn't replace the IRB. Not at all. The real goal is to make the IRB's job more focused. By automating all the black and white compliance checks, it frees up the human experts to concentrate on the gray areas, the really complex ethical judgments that truly need their expertise.
And so, this is the thought that I really want to leave you with. Just imagine for a minute all the time, all the money, and all the mental energy that is currently spent just trying to navigate this compliance maze. If all of that were just given back to you, what new discoveries could you make? What could you achieve?